Back at it, doing it again. Athlete builder. I'm in the library, and we got Loren Strickland. It seems like everyone calls him Strick, or he goes by that.
Yes, sir.
He plays for the Detroit Lions, originally out of Illinois, came to Detroit by way of Indiana, so University of Indianapolis, and then Ball State, and then on his way to Detroit. Shout out episode 10, the Ball State linebackers, where we had my son 𝗀𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃, Joey Stemler, Clayton Call, Jack Weagold, all on the show just asking, hey, day in the life, what's it like playing college football? And then later, Jack said, "Hey, you need to get Strick on the call because worked his whole way up to the NFL level." So before I even get into any more of those things, Strick, right off the bat, Jack told me immediately ask about Georgia Southern game.
Somewhat biggest hit of my life, honestly. Is the opening kickoff. Just came down. I was kind of the backside eight, and we kind of set everything up to have me find the window and go find the ball. And I saw it open, and the lead blocker didn't see me. He went right past me, and I just went in there full throttle and threw my shoulder. And yeah, it was the biggest hit of my life. Took the dude off his feet. I hit him, I think, inside the hash or right on the hash, and the ball flew about 10, 12 yards back out of bounds. And
Oh,
it was wild. It was the wildest hit I've ever had in my life, which is hard too because I have a lot of hard hits, but nothing that was like that. Um,
the harder you hit someone, the less you feel it, right?
sometimes depending on the adrenaline, I'll tell you what, I felt that one. It wasn't pain, but that was the first time I ever hit someone and my whole body was ringing.
Wow.
Tingles from head to toe, but it was just excitement and plus, I don't know, nerves.
So the whole physics behind it, if you guys are the same weight and you're going much faster, and he's going slower and you run into each other, he's going to bounce back and you're going to absorb some of that impact as well, but you should bounce forward. And the way I show people that play football, I take two cue balls like on a pool table, weigh the same. I roll them into each other. One's rolling slowly, the other one's rolling very, very quickly. So when they hit, the faster one still continues forward, and the one that's going slower moves back and absorbs more physical impact. So like that's just the physics behind it. And so when I was telling kids at a young age, hey, if you hit them a little bit harder, they're going to bounce back, but you're going to go land on top of them. And it's kind of like a little mindset change for them because sometimes they'll pull up, they'll be nervous.
Yeah.
And it takes a while for people to get comfortable with it. So Loren Strickland out of Illinois, I think is it your brother that played at University of Indianapolis as well? Okay,
Yes, he's 7 years older than me. He played safety there as well.
gotcha. So both play safety. You showed up there, D2 school, a legit program. Coach Keevers, I think, been around for a long time.
Yep.
Had good success. Talk about your journey there and how you got from high school to college.
Okay. So high school, I was always, one of the more athletic kids. Always had the dream of NFL, and it was always got to go to college for free. Had a rough childhood, rough background, so it's kind of like I needed a scholarship and all those things. I was a bit undersized, especially on tape. I didn't look as big as I was, even though I was only, I think, 5'8", 5'9". So it kind of pushed a lot of big schools away. No one really was interested as much. And then I played predominantly running back as well. So it kind of made it a little different too, because I wanted to play defense in college. I was very good in my sophomore year and then beginning of my junior year, but I had to switch over to score some touchdowns for the team and help us do better on offense. So I didn't really play defense, and it kind of hurt me, I think. And then I just did everything else. I did wrestling, track, all that stuff, just try to be the best athlete I can, build my resume really, just to try and get in as an underrated guy. And my coaches tried to do everything they could, call, reach out, all these things. And I ended up only getting two scholarship offers. They were from U and Indy and Northern Michigan, which were both D2 schools. And in my head, I mean, obviously I wanted to play at the big school. I wanted to do all these things, but my brother played there. He had a great career there. He had a chance to go play pro and do all those things. He kind of, it didn't work out for him. Things didn't go the right ways. So I knew the path was there. It was going to be hard, but I knew you could do it. And it was better for me to take the free education, free degree versus to go bet on myself at that moment at a big school. So I went to UIndy. It was my grandma's kind of wisdom too that helped me choose there instead of chasing the dream as much. And then I got there. I redshirted right away. I walked in thinking that I was going to be, the guy. I was going to take over. I was going to play right away, and no one else was as athletic as me. And I think it was really an eye opener too. It really showed me like how mental the game is, and like I wasn't there mentally, but I was ready. Like I should be playing. Like these guys are not better athletes than me, and all this kind of stuff. So I think that kind of humbled me a little bit. I didn't enjoy my time there. I'll say that too. I wanted to leave. I wanted to transfer, go to a D1 school anyway, and just not be there. I felt like it wasn't big enough for me. But I ended up, relaxing, getting in place through my brother's help and advice and stuff, and then just get my first season going, 2019, so my redshirt freshman year. And I went out, played very well as a freshman. Originally lost the job. I didn't even win it out of camp, and then I took over week 2, and I played the rest of the season. I got all conference as a freshman on first team. And I just played very, very well. And then from there on, it just kind of was like just trying to keep the momentum going, keep going. The next year, I think we had COVID, so we sat, which helps me later down the road. 2021, we played solid season. Didn't do anything crazy. Played a little bit. Got a little hurt though. Wasn't bad. And then I was on pace basically to graduate at that point. It had been 3.5 years already. And then my tape was really good. I played very well. I didn't become an All-American or anything like that like I wanted to be, but I did some really good things. And I knew, my dream was still the NFL. And in my head, it was like, to get out of here, I'm about to graduate, transfer portal now, especially being a graduate, it's so much easier. And I had 2 years of eligibility because COVID, we didn't play. So it saved me. And I'm like, at this point, about to graduate. I'm like, I have 2 years left. I might as well take my opportunity and leave, go try and play at the higher level. Why not, right? And then UIndy also doesn't have a pro day, which is how it is for most D2 schools, which is kind of a hard thing. So you really have to play. You have to play really good to get invited to a Division I program's pro day, it's always a bet. It's never a guarantee. And I kind of wanted to get that guarantee too. So that was kind of the reason why I was like, I probably got to leave UIndy just to make sure and not even have that be a question mark when the time comes.
Gotcha. I have a number of questions right off the bat now. So, how much did wrestling help you with your hands and your physicality when you're meshing with opponents on the football field?
I think it was huge for my aggression, probably, and just my balance. I think that was the biggest thing, especially because I played running back the last 2 years of high school. I was one of those guys. I wasn't the guy who was going to juke you out and you couldn't touch me. I was the guy where you might touch me, but you're not going to tackle me. So I was always bouncing off guys, staying on my feet, doing like crazy plays. You're like, this guy, I don't know, his balance is nuts. And I think that was kind of where wrestling came in. And I was a big thrower. And I was also, I think
Come here.
my junior year, I was ranked. I got all the way up to being like ranked 4th in the
Right
state.
now.
Um, and then I ended up not making the state tournament, but I counted 12 guys that I beat that year that were in the state tournament. It was a bad sectional I had. I lost a match to get down there, and but yeah, I was a pretty good wrestler, and it helped a lot with, I'd say, balance, and then obviously tackling. My double legs were pretty good, so were throwing. So
So
um,
throwing, not sprinting in track.
nah, I was a sprinter.
Sprinter.
I
Okay.
was a sprinter.
The
Oh,
one in
when I said throwing, I meant like on the wrestling mat.
so
I was
throwing guys.
throwing guys around. Yeah, I was a big
Roger that. I
almost
got
like
you.
Greco style throwing dudes.
Right. I like that.
Yeah. No. But I was
So
a jumper actually in track.
okay. So explosive. Now you said you were undersized when you got there. So physically, like, what were you when you got to UIndy? Height,
I
weight,
was 5'9", 200. I,
200.
I was able to get up. I gained a bunch of weight my senior year just 'cause I was so focused on college, which I shouldn't have did, but
It's hard for student athletes, especially when they're younger, because the calorie burn rate is so high
yeah.
to put on weight. And if you're wrestling, that's just constant calorie burn. Playing football, same deal. So your intake must have been through the roof, calorie
Uh,
wise.
yeah, I got to the point. I knew it was my junior year. I was like 170 at playing football, and I was like really good running back. I was getting good, and I was like, man, if I'm 200 next year, I'm gonna be crazy. So yeah, I just was eating everything.
Everything. Um, so you felt like physically you could hang as a freshman, but they still redshirted you. Looking back now, were you right or wrong or kind of in the middle?
I was wrong for
You're wrong.
sure. I
Oh,
I would have. I think I would have wasted time. One, yeah. I mean, I probably would have felt great, my body wise, but no, it was definitely it wasn't a rush. And I had before Keevers, it was Coach Bartolomeo. He'd been there for a long time, but it was kind of one of those things. They told me like, yeah, we could use you right now. Like you're good enough, but what's the point, right? We'll save you for our future, so we can use you for an extra 4 years after this one. We don't need you yet. And
nice.
I wasn't there mentally yet. It just plus the system was a lot simpler versus the next year with the new coach we had. So I was thrown in the fire a little bit and learned a lot more the next year. It was great for me. It
Gotcha.
was huge for me.
So then, what was your welcome to college football moment? You're like, holy shit, this is different than high school.
I think maybe um ooh. I mean, this was a little later in the season, but my first year we played Truman State. They're a big bruiser team, big fullback guys, big running back guys, just feed them the ball all game. And and yeah, it's one of them fullbacks. He's probably about 240, 250. He was coming full speed on the sideline. And I came with everything. I was like, I'm gonna smack him, like, me, full confidence. And yeah, I got put in the dirt. He didn't even go down. I got put in the dirt on their sideline, and he's telling me I'm too small, talking all crazy.
Oh
Um,
man, did you
yeah,
have
that was
did you have a similar moment when you were at Ball State because you moved from UIndy to Ball State and you're like, oh shoot, this is no longer D2. This is different now. Did you have a similar moment where things are a little eye-opening?
probably not as much. I'll say biggest thing I might have got messed up in coverage a couple of times. I
Right.
didn't play a lot of coverage at UIndy. It was more so, I mean, we were very good in our front seven. It was a lot of more box safety type play than moving to Ball State, forced to, a lot more pass game, a lot of stuff like that. So I got thrown in the fire and coverage a lot more there. So there was definitely moments where I was like, yeah, I got some things I need to work on.
So whatever you're at, as long as you're open mentally to saying, "Hey, man, I could be off here a little bit. There's something for me to learn." And if you have that humility, where you're constantly hunting for things you can learn, then you can keep evolving. So you listen to your coach your freshman year, and then you get to Ball State. Oh, I could learn some more things here. And if you keep applying that principle, then the evolution process is endless because you can keep learning and advancing. So now you move on to Detroit. Was there a welcome to the NFL moment where you're like, oh man, you know what? This is not Illinois. This is not UIndy. This is not Ball State.
Yeah.
This is significantly different.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously me even getting in there was a long shot. So every day I was playing like it was my last, and I had a day in OTAs, which is very early when I just got there, and we were competing out on the field. I think I gave up. I was playing nickel the whole time, and I don't ever do that really. I was safety or outside linebacker, but I was in man coverage that day, and I gave up I think 7 catches, and I think 3 of them were touchdowns, and it was just I mean in front of the whole team. It was I'm the undrafted guy, small guy, who shouldn't even be here probably guy, and I'm out here just getting torched. And it's not against the ones, it's twos or threes, and yeah, it was one of those days where I couldn't do nothing but like you just smiling almost in embarrassment, like wow, like, and I'm like enjoy it. I'm telling my teammates like yeah, it was fun guys. Like I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow or yeah, it
Hmm.
was it was a very rough day on me mentally, but that's definitely mine.
I'll circle back there in a bit. So you've been through a season or two already, been to different stadiums. What fans are ridiculous, or what places are the noise is crazy, or it's too hot in Miami or too cold in Green Bay? What are some environments you're like, well, shoot, this is
I'll say Green Bay. Green Bay sucked because it was cold and it was really rainy. So the wind, it was bad. It was cold. Um, I really did think that Minnesota's was really cool. They had the big horn and the skull clap and all that stuff.
right.
It's pretty intense. It is pretty
That's
cool to be around. And then I think Houston might have been one. Houston. Well, actually, no. I'll take this back to preseason. I mean, this was preseason only, but Kansas City game was nuts. I mean,
really
they yeah, Kansas City they get loud, and I can't even imagine how they are for a real game. It was just their whole chant, all of it. It's Kansas City's a good environment.
that's awesome. What's the environment like in Detroit?
Nuts. Nothing comparable. In all honesty, I'm not even being biased. It is. I tell everybody that I know, I'm like, you got to get to a Detroit game. It is. it's nuts. I left many games with a headache on the sideline. There was days I was out there on the sideline. I'm like your head just hurt. Like you're already just trying to prepare for it mentally. And then even coming out of the tunnel or when they do the call outs for the starters, I get the chills every time.
Yeah.
It's it's insane, and they get loud the whole game. It don't matter what the score is.
I was born and raised in Cleveland, so unfortunately, it's been 50 years of misery as a Cleveland fan. But if they're ever good, which is rare, and Detroit's been terrible for a long time, but recently they've been outstanding. Um, when Cleveland's ever good, well, Cleveland fills their house all the time. It's a bunch of drunks on the lake, having fun, and it's always outdoor until if you can believe it, they're building an indoor stadium. It just breaks my heart. But when they're really good, then it's like, oh shoot, man, this happens so rarely. Like, every lunatic comes out and starts screaming their ass off. So
Yeah.
having like obviously I'm a homer for that team, but my wife and I watch a lot of documentaries. She watches a lot of military, but we do that, but also a lot of sports documentaries. And we'll go through, Hard Knocks, etc. And I think you got to Detroit after their Hard Knock season when they were on HBO. But it's hard not to admire a leader that leads from the front physically and authentically and emotionally. Now, I'm just watching TV, right? So you never know what people are really like because I'm not married to that guy. I'm not married to Dan Campbell. You don't see that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But what was portrayed looked attractive because he was all about his guys, leading from the front. I could say he can get up a little bit taller on his up downs, but whatever. uh, but it seems like the guys really want to play for him, and he
Yeah.
has that word grit, that mentality that he got ridiculed for right off the bat. That now he's being praised for. What's it like having that kind of coach?
It's amazing. I mean, you have every ounce of motivation to do, everything. I mean, all these guys, they have it anyway. But at the end of the day, when you have a guy like that, like you said, leading it from the front, like he's going to go through that wall with you, for you. It makes it easier, and he's personable. He's not a coach where he's in the background. You don't see him, you don't talk to him. I mean, I tell everybody he greets everyone and every day in practice in the warm up lines. Like
Yeah.
I've spoken to him multiple occasions, person to person, and he's a great dude, and he's one of the most passionate people I've ever met and seen about this game of football. I mean, and I've been around a lot of people who love and play this game, but he is probably the most passionate I've ever seen, in all honesty. And it's special. It is special, and especially for me, I was a guy. He talked about and praised me for being a football player, right? A guy just get the job done and do his thing. He didn't put me in a bucket or label me any kind of way. He just like this guy is a football player, and we'll take that. We like that, and so I always cherish that and be thankful for that. But yeah, he's everything you see on TV, videos, media. That is him. I've never seen him act out of that character.
Dang,
So
awesome.
it is as authentic as it is appears everywhere.
Take us through a few different scenarios or moments. You said growing up at home wasn't optimal, wasn't great. Not many offers, so maybe some disappointment, but you persevered, had to find whether it's your brother or someone else to confide in, and then you have to persevere through COVID and persevere and go from D2 to D1, and then persevere, and then I don't think you said when you and I talked before that people were necessarily looking at you for the NFL front during the season. It wasn't until maybe your pro day that things turned around, and then you weren't drafted, right? So there's moment after moment after moment where it's like, man, I would like to be at this level. I've done what I think is enough work to get there, but it turns out I'm not quite where I want to be. I have to get here just to bring myself up. Talk about how you had some disappointments, presumably. How do you handle that and then find another gear, find a way to evolve and get to the next level so you are where you need to be next?
I think just then you just take the scraps in a way. I mean, it's exactly how it is. I had moments. I remember after that first season at Ball State, I wasn't really getting the opportunities I thought I should have gotten. And I talked to my brother, like I thought about like, should I just go get a job? Like, should I just be done and go work? Like, football might not be in the cards for me because I can't even play here. Like, how am I going to get to this spot? And it was just one of those things of just stay in the moment, just keep going. I think one thing he always told me too was like, I came here to do this pro day. He's like, I don't even care if you play another snap for Ball State again. Do this pro day. No matter what, do the pro day because that's why you went there. And I think it's just keeping those end goals in perspective to just finish it through. It was part of the reason too when I was leaving UIndy. It was like I wanted to transfer. I was like, I have the tape, but then I wasn't getting the looks, I thought. And then Ball State calls me about walking on, and I'm like, well, FBS. Part of me was like, why not? Right? Like, go big or go home. I want to go to the league, right? I want to go to the NFL. Like, let's go FBS then. I don't need to go FCS or even a better D2 school, right? Let's go FBS then. Let's go put your money where your mouth is in a way. If I'm good enough, then I'll earn it. And yeah, I think it's just that I had to just I get worked up in those moments, but just take myself back and realize, I mean, what else would I be doing at the moment anyway, right? I got to finish school. I got to do these things anyway. I might as well keep going and take the scraps. When I get my opportunity, just keep on proving it right. And I think just that, having faith that it's going to go the right way every time I show those opportunities. Now, it still didn't, I thought, because I still had plenty of times where I did get my little chance to go in for something and I made a really good play, but didn't pan out the way I thought it would. But I just kept going. And yeah, even when I finished school, I had a couple coaches too. They were surprised that I was getting ready to do pro day. They're like, "You doing pro day?" I was like, "Yeah." And they kind of acted a little like they didn't say anything, but I could tell like the energy. And I came back to Indy, found a guy that went to school at UIndy. He was a trainer. I trained with him. He did a good job. But I committed to that 6 days a week, committed to a diet. I did all that because I knew I had to do this pro day and I knew I was going to test very well. But I had no agent. I had no words from my coaches at Ball State or anyone else about anything. I had no interest, no NFL teams talking about me, no lists about me, nothing, nada. Um, and then as soon as I went through pro day, I did phenomenal and all those things. And I even had like the Colts came up to me and they were like, um, he's like, "You surprised me today." It was a guy I've seen before, never spoken to, but he's like, "You surprised me today." He's like, "I didn't even have a player profile on you." That's what he said.
Was that guy from Ball State originally as well? You know,
I'm not sure. His name was Mike. I forgot his last name, but
because there's an
um,
assistant strength coach there named Zane Fakes that went to Ball State, was academic All-American, and now he just works for the Colts. He hasn't never played, and so he's been on our show. He coached at my gym, and so I wonder if your paths crossed at all. So I guess not.
uh,
Maybe not.
no, it wasn't him. I mean, I might have run into him before, but
Sure.
that wasn't the guy that I had spoken to. This called Scout.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was all those moments. Really, just comes back to just thinking about why I got started and what I really want. And it's you. I mean, in any of those situations, you really have one or two options, right? If that's what you want to do still, then you either just keep doing what you're doing and keep climbing, or you walk away. And I think I was never ready to walk away.
Did any of the Ball State coaches look at you differently after you tested well at pro day, or act differently?
Uh, I would say, I mean, they're proud and congratulating me for like having a good day because it looked good, but I was still in that category of like, still was a long shot. Like I had 5 starts that last year at Ball State. I wasn't never the guy, and so it wasn't like me doing that really changed anything. 'Cause it's still the NFL, right? It's still really hard to get in and all those kinds of things. So it didn't change a bunch of people's perspectives that I might happen. But I mean, yeah, I had people in my corner and they were rooting for me. Not saying they were against me. Now, I might not have the best relationship with them or things like that, but
Sure.
no, it was all positivity stuff, all good stuff.
Not most, a lot of student athletes will be on a team and they're trying to work their way up the depth chart. How hard is it to change the mindset of the coach that runs your position, or the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator? So if you come in and like, oh yeah, you can come walk on at Ball State, but you're not good enough for a scholarship. Or you can go to a pro day, but whatever. So you're constantly having to prove yourself. And even when you have a great game or a number of great stats, you light things up in the weight room, you understand the playbook backwards and forwards, You're doing all the things with your attitude. You're leading by example, and coaches' perspectives don't change, and they reward you with playing time. How hard is it to change coaches' minds, even though you're putting together a resume that says, "Hey, man, give me a shot"?
It is, it's very hard. I'd say it's probably a lot harder than it is easier because most coaches are a little more stiff to that kind of thing. And it's the only thing that sucks about it is it just takes time. It's almost like you don't have the margin of error is very small for guys like that. You really only get two or three mistakes before you can't really change it. It's almost like you got to be perfect
Yeah,
every time you get on that. It's almost like, I mean, it's like what Brady talks about too, right? With like if you get one snap or you get two or three, whatever it is, you own that snap, own that play, be perfect. Because it's also another thing too. I had times though I got fortunate, but I would go in. There's times I might have had three plays, and I might go in, and one of them was really bad. That also might have postponed a lot of my stuff, and that happens with a lot of guys. You go in there and you get your one chance for a play, and you blow it. It's hard. It's really hard. And
the
I think
deal. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, I
That was it.
you're good.
So going in with the mindset I have to be perfect is overwhelming and can be quite detrimental because, oh my God, I can't make a mistake. I can't make a mistake. You're thinking
Yeah,
about, I can't make a mistake. Your brain just hears the verb, make a mistake. So
yeah,
then if you hear like, don't strike out, and the kid goes up to the plate, what do you think happens? He strikes out, right? Because you hear strikeout.
yeah,
So I tell these kids two couple things. One, it can't be close. If it's me versus Strick for playing the number one safety, and and Strick is ahead of me, but maybe I'm ahead of him. If you quantify things, he scores out as an 89, and I grade out at a 92. That margin isn't enough to sway a coach's brain to switch and say, "Hey, man, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I should go with Jim." I
yeah,
said, if Strick grades out at 89, I got to grade out like 125,
yeah,
135. Like, holy cow, this is Ed Reed versus Strick. Like, not even close. So when I said that has to be the mindset. It can't be close. It has to be so great they can't ignore you. Number two, don't work on being perfect in that game.
yeah,
Work on being perfect in the weight room and pushing all your metrics up that day. Perfect in your diet, in your sleep habits. Here's 10 things you can do to improve your sleep. Do all 10. Where
yep,
was my list? So that if I'm working at a high level, elite level, a pro level, my supplements are already laid out for the next 30 days. I have all my meds, right? I have my room, my office, my desk, everything's clean, food's taken care of. Protein intake is measured out. Like if I'm working on being perfect daily, then it's going to be hard not to play at that level on game day because that's a level that you've established. Now you don't start there, but you work to that level. So
yep.
it's not the will to win, it's the will to prepare. And if you can do those things, then you got a shot. You move on. Talk about well, I remember Hutchinson singing Billie Jean, and
Yeah,
I've seen others. I know even in college, like my son Jack, I think maybe he wrote and read a poem, but there's usually some kind of talent. You have to be able to get up in front of everybody and say, "Hey, man, I can do this," and I can look a little silly. Do you have any of those talents that you had to put on display as a rookie?
I actually was fortunate to not get called on, so it's kind of like a thing throughout training camp that the head coach will call on somebody random out of nowhere. You can have no idea when it's coming, so they're just like, be prepared. They always joke like, rookies, you better know what you're doing. Um, I think I prepared a song. I don't even remember what song it was. I
Oh
think
no, you don't even remember the song?
I had a few. I had a few. I think one of them was, I think I was gonna do, I think, Just the Way You Are, Bruno Mars, but I got made fun of by the TVs in my room, so I was gonna change it. I don't remember what it was, but I actually never got picked on for that, and it's kind of funny because one of my buddies even said, he's like, "You might be the only rookie in like the NFL history to like never have to do it and make the team." But
Dang.
it's kind of wild because like I wasn't a guy who they knew I was probably gonna make the team, and I think they kind of choose a little, like guys kind of get chosen a little bit more if like you're probably going to make the team almost, it seems like sometimes. Like, I mean, draft picks is a given. You're going no matter what. And then outside of that, it's kind of like, you never know. I just got fortunate. I never got picked. But I mean, I'm sure I would have got booed off pretty quick.
So, even in your position, you're psychologically reading any kind of indicator to see how much the team wants or doesn't want you. You're like,
Yeah,
oh man,
it's kind of the battle you go through, the internal battle. You know, you try.
right?
They tell us not to and don't do those things. And I think a person for me, I'm kind of hyper aware. So yeah, I look at everything and
Me too.
almost in a way.
Me too. Me too. Did you get hazed at all?
I mean, rookie treatment, right? You know, keep snacks and we also get some food for the plane rides for
Okay.
teammates. Sometimes that's what rookies do, rookie duties.
Carrying
Um,
carrying bags?
yeah, carrying bags, stuff like that. I always knew I never, like, you know, all these guys always get like good pictures and stuff walking up to the airplane. I never, never had that. I was always carrying stuff. um, yeah, it's cool. I'm glad to not be in that category anymore. But yeah, we definitely had that mix of that. I actually, one time so I think we got Chick-fil-A. Me and a buddy went picked up Chick-fil-A for the DVs, as our rookie duties, and I brought the food back to the facility rather than bringing it to the airplane, and left one of the vets' food in the locker room, and it sat there all weekend
Oh no. Oh no.
while we were away. So so yeah, it's kind of funny for us, not so much for them or who it was.
Right. Dang. So one guy's hungry and pissed, and now it's just stinking up the locker room. Not
Yeah,
good.
and everyone
Hmm.
else is eating their Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
How much those big linemen eat at team meals?
This guy eat a lot. I mean, big Five Guys. I've never seen a Five Guys order that big.
Right?
Yeah, they eat a lot. They're big dudes. It's actually, they kind of, I mean, they got to fight for those calories. They have to, it's hard to maintain that weight. I mean, once you start getting this age too, yeah, it's a
It's
lot of
work.
force feeding for those guys.
A lot of work. A lot of work forcing that down, and happens at a lot of different positions. Uh, all right. So I was looking up reports and statuses and placements and things like that. Now, so I was looking you up, Strick, and people had good things to say. And so you're going into this season, and you're trying to fight and move yourself up the depth chart, obviously. And if you have to do more, and you don't have to be as specific, but what's a day in the life like off season where you're constantly having to hunt for that next inch? You got to evolve yourself and get better, not, multiple inches. It's a game of
Yeah.
inches, right? What's a day in the life or a week in the life like as you're hunting to advance yourself inches, stay in the league, get a bigger contract, play at the ones, be a starter, move on to Pro Bowl, all that jazz. And talk about what that's like.
Yeah, so me, I kind of got a good system figured out for myself. I don't overdo it. I like to go 4 days a week, really like my intense hard workouts, weight room, field work. Those workouts are usually 2 to 3 hours, really.
Hmm.
At least an hour on the field, maybe a tiny bit over that, and then weight room just as long. A lot of power, force production stuff, maintain speed mechanics, all those kinds of things. Stay fast, be running, obviously too. That's the biggest thing. Um, and then outside that, just eating clean, making sure I'm getting enough sleep. It doesn't. I'm not really a stickler about a schedule in terms of getting up at this hour or these things, but as long as I get the enough, like quality over, well, quality regardless and quantity, I guess. 8 hours. I'm gonna get 8 hours somehow. Whether I wake up at 9 or I wake up at 7 a.m.
Gotcha.
Um, and then I like to hit the pool a lot because it's easy on the joints, things like that. We have one in the neighborhood. I'll go to over here. Swim some laps in there if I want to, get my heart rate up, really just do active recovery stuff, move around a lot, keep the body feeling good. Um, and then just try and stay as clean as I can diet wise. I'm probably like 80%, 20%, like whole foods versus
Shit.
not so whole foods.
Right.
Maybe sometimes 90% or 100% on some days. Um, and then I'll get on the field sometimes if I want to and do basic footwork stuff. I got out there with my girlfriend this year a couple times and did some things. Had her giving me wide receiver releases, but doesn't need to be too intense with her anyway. Just move the feet. Uh, big big kind of into juggling a little bit, just to work on hand-eye coordination a little bit, work on kind of like catch and stuff like that. So it's kind of like just constantly trying to find things that'll kind of translate a little bit, keep working. Also, though, not overloading yourself. Like I said, I struggle. I get hard on myself in the head about I should be doing this, or I need to do this, and this. I need to be here and here. My trainer, he tells me a lot, like just relax, cool it. You don't need to, don't overdo it. Um, all those things will come and you'll get that work in over time, but can't just hammer away at it every day, things like that. And it's hard being a guy like me, hungry. I'm trying to go there. Like, so you're always thinking you got to do this, doom, 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 doom. But in reality, sometimes that hurts you more than it helps you. And I'm starting to realize that the rest goes a long way compared to, beating at the drum over and over again. Uh, but no, it's busy and it's good too because there's a lot of things that are mental in this game that I can really focus on. And I got my iPad with me, got all my notes, all those kinds of things. So can do some deep dives some days, go watch whatever I want. Um, and just things like that, trying to just stay sharp.
When you say deep dive, go wherever you want. What's that mean specifically?
Like yesterday or the past few days, I was watching my old self playing in the preseason last year. Or I think a week ago, I got a random hunch. I don't know what it was. I think I saw a video online and I was like, you know what? I want to go watch the entire 49ers game. We played against them last year. I didn't play in that game, but I watched every defensive snap. Was reading through all the notes and stuff like that. So things like that, like, or if I want to go back to training camp last year and watch a certain practice or certain things like that, you can go to look at any of that stuff. So I think it's just kind of like that, keeping your mind in it, seeing
Gotcha.
different things, and just keep going, building that muscle memory mentally, going through those thought processes.
So if you're lifting real heavy, heavy squat, or you're running sprints and you're trying to lower your 40 time or your fly 10, or you said force production, so broad jump, power clean, vertical jump, whatever. When you max that out, that's going to be very, very intense and wrecks the nervous system, right? If you have a really hard practice, it's very intense and wrecks the nervous system. If you sit there and study, like you got final exams and you got 6 finals and you're studying 2, 3 days straight, wrecks the nervous system. If you add all that together, physically and mentally, body starts breaking down, mind starts breaking down. So to your point, yeah, I want to do these things and go, 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 hit hard at my work. But if you can't recover, then the next day you go hard, your level of ability to go hard will be lower.
Yeah,
So maybe you hit a 97 or 99% efficiency out of 100 on that day one on Monday, but you went so hard that your next day is Wednesday, but you went so hard you can only hit 92
yeah,
because you're not recovered. So when an athlete comes to me and they're evolving and they're getting better and it's, hey, let's go again. I'm like, well, you think we can go the same level of intensity? Because what matters is you going fast. And if you come in fatigued or exhausted, you're not going to be able to go as fast, or you're not getting faster.
yeah,
And so that's going to be the measure. It's not how hard can you train, whether it's in the playbook or physically. It's how hard can you train, recover, and then train hard again. And as long as you're training hard again, go again, right? But if you're wrecked, then you either went too hard or too much volume. Now you got to sit there and rest, right?
yep,
And do whatever you got. So and that dynamic is always evolving because as you get better, your recovery times can be better because you're in better shape. As you get older, it gets worse, right? So every year it's just always a moving target. What is the one or two things that you love about football?
I think first off, just bringing all the people together. I think the trust, um, just the camaraderie of it. You bring all kinds of different personalities and backgrounds into the same room for a collective goal, and it brings a lot of guys together. I've met a lot of great dudes through the game of football, a lot of different stories, and I think it helps you build that skill of meshing with different people. I've become, I mean, I've also already always been, but I've been a great people person. I'd say, and I've been pretty empathetic, sympathetic to other people. And I think being a football player helps a lot, especially being like a safety, because usually you're like a captain of the defense in a lot of ways, and communicating a lot, running the show, having to be trusted and trust, um, and be like a focal point for guys to look to. So I think I built a lot of great relationships, um, being that, and I think also just the fact of how, I mean, I'd say rewarding it is, but also how unrewarding it is. You know, it'll expose you. I think I like that a lot about it. I mean, you get in what you get out what you put into it most of the time, almost all of the time. Um, and it will expose the truth about guys, and it will bring you up. You know, when you're good, you're great. When you're bad, it will take you there if you let it. And I think just the nature of the game in that sense is what I love, and the fact of a guy like me was able to chase my dream and succeed in doing it through this game because of that natural nature of the game.
Hmm. It's more of a romantic answer. It's the intangibles, right? It's
Yeah,
the relationships here on and off the field. It's the self-reflection and improvement, discovery, all that jazz. You didn't mention it's killing someone, pick six, touchdown, shutting down on offense. You didn't mention anything tangible about actually being on the field. It was all the relationship. So that'll last a long time because the game ends and there's no more touchdowns and hits and interceptions.
yeah.
But the relationships continue. What's something you're like, what, I love football. I want to play at the NFL as long as I can, but man, I will not miss this one thing or these two things are like, man, this sucks.
That you won't miss it about it.
Yeah, you're like, this part sucks. I won't miss this one bit.
I mean, conditioning. I'd say those days. Condition. I don't want to say training because I love the training. Those days where I push myself to my limit, and I'm like, man, this is great. Like you love it after it's done, right? But
Right?
lining up to do it sucks. Definitely conditioning. I mean, Ball State alone. I mean, Jack. I'm sure Jack's told you plenty about the conditioning test there, and
Yep.
just running the league and having those long drives, those conditioning plays. I will not miss that. And I think I won't miss having to be put on the spot all the time with knowing, you know, 40, 50 different calls and all the intricate little things about them. And yeah, just being able to flush all that.
Right?
Yeah, I will not miss that.
Constantly having to memorize and then know the next iteration based on X. So this person moves, then I'm over on this next page of the playbook, and this next person moves, I'm on this page of the playbook, and you have to memorize all that over and over and over. Someone else is coming up. Jack calls you up and says, Strick, there's a freshman on my team. He plays safety. Uh, I'm looking for a mentor. And I want someone to pair him with someone for, a season. Let's say you had the availability, which you probably don't. But you're giving someone advice. They're starting off their career, in college or in high school. They're in that first year. What's some piece of advice you're going to have for that kid?
Tell them take it day at a time. It's the hardest piece of advice probably to hear, but it's probably the best. Honestly, it is because no matter what, you got to handle today and worry about tomorrow later. And also, I mean, live in today, handle today, be there today, and then do it again tomorrow. And that's, I mean, you can't get to your outcome without today and tomorrow. And you do that with today and tomorrow. Do what you need to do today, get better today, focus on today, be your best today. Don't worry about being your best on Friday or on Saturday. Just be your best today, and then be your best tomorrow, and then the next day. And it's gonna be up and down. It isn't gonna be perfect, but that is the best and only way. You'll hear this most simple piece of advice from any pro out there that it's all the small little things that you do each and every day because it's those habits that will carry you where you want to go. And I think that's how you handle it, especially and it's amazing for a guy who's like that, walking in fresh. You have so much time ahead of you. You have so many days to own each of them. You can't. It's hard to tell a senior that day at a time because they're, but it still is the same mindset anyway. Whether it's going to happen or not, you're going to do it a day at a time or not.
I told Jack, hey, you go every day of camp this year. is your last day. So you have your last first day. You have your last second day. Eventually, you'll have your last Monday and your last Friday, and these are your last days. You got a 12 game season, plus one if you're in the MAC title game, plus one if you're in a bowl game. So you're looking at between 12 and 14 games for all of 2025. And at 22 years old, 23 years old, will be 23 in October. That's it, unless something happens the following year. And all those little one day at a time things add up. And he's when you have your dad as a coach, I'm sure he's sick of hearing all the
Yeah,
coach speak. I know he is, right, and I know he's thankful about some things, but I'm sure he's sick of a lot of other things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look at, I actually got I still have this on from Ball State. It's a one at a time
When I did,
bracelet.
yeah.
I've had that on since I left Ball State over a year ago. Never taken it off. I mean, maybe a handful of times here and there. That's it. But I still have that on my wrist.
I have a number of special forces guys on this show, so Rangers, Navy SEALs, and if you follow them and you know NFL training camp, I've never been through it, so I can't say all I know is what I learned about, and I don't know about buds over in the Navy SEAL world. All I know is what I read about or see on documentaries or people tell me that firsthand experience. But during Hell Week, buds, it's like week 3, maybe week 5, somewhere in there. But early on, it's 5.5 days of constant work. You have 5, maybe 6 hours total of sleep, not per day, but total. And it's nothing but getting people to quit or not, bringing the team together more and more. I say, how do you get through that? He goes, you can't think about day 5 or 4 or 3 or 2, or you can't even think about getting through today. You go, so what do you think about then? What's your focus got to be? Because where your focus goes, energy flows. He goes, you focus on getting out of bed on time. And then getting out of bed on time, you want to get information for PT on time. And then you want to get through the next PT piece, whether it's something in the surf or a run, just getting through the next task. And that could be your only focus. And when you're done with that task, maybe it's you're going to jog to the mess tent for food. All you think about is making it to the door for food. And when you sit down for food, you think about getting through the meal. Because at that point, you know, it, that life in the military can be life and death when you're in combat. But that
Yeah.
kind of stress is life and death like. Your body is dying because you have no sleep deprivation, constant work. And so your only way to survive at the highest level is an extreme focus on only what's next. Because everything you start thinking about, man, how am I going to do 5 days of this? How am I going to do 5 days? I'm struggling right now. I probably can't do 5 days of this. So you're already breaking down mentally because you're thinking about something that's not next. And I got to believe when you're fighting for that position or you're trying to be an undrafted free agent or make it through, you start thinking, man, how am I going to make this? Well, I'm looking at this guy, looking at that. Everything you're focusing on is not now.
Yeah.
And look, to your point, you just said, hey, you got to be in today. You got to be in now. That's your only chance to get better, whether it's eating the best food right now, getting enough hydration right now, studying enough right now, and then move on to the next thing. You start getting, man, how do I end up, man, a 17 game season? My body's fucked. Like, oh my God, I haven't seen my girlfriend at all. How am I going to maintain this relationship?
Yeah.
You can what if yourself to death and be done. But if you can break it down to the most minor next step, then maybe you got a chance. You got a chance. What are you looking forward to this year?
Looking forward to this competition in camp. Honestly, I about 3, 4 days out, but it's basically, I mean, they called it online. I think 5 of us for one spot. But yeah, so and I got um 2 of them I'm close with. I've been around for a year. The other 2 are new guys that I've gotten close with since they've come in. So yeah, just going to war with those boys and going to competition, and then beyond that, I think just trying to make a name for myself in this league. It was my first year last year. I didn't play a whole ton. I had a bunch of special team snaps, some fair catches and stuff, and I didn't have a defensive snap. And I wanted one last year, so I think just making a name for myself in that type of way, getting on the field a little bit more, and um, I think year 2 will be a kind of good year for me to really define my position in this league. really show me, probably, but maybe it won't. Maybe I'll leave it with some more unknowns. Um, but yeah, just get a little more play, make a little more plays, build my resume some more, and try to keep on carrying it.
When you get close to a bunch of guys and you guys go your separate ways, how hard is that for them to move on? Because it's, NFL, not for long.
It's gotten easier, but it's definitely an adjustment. And I think it is what kind of grounds me is thinking that like I said, like it's the nature of this game. Like this is the game, and this is what we signed up for. Like I got like my bestest friend on the team. He's not my position group. I'm not competing with him, but it's still one of those things. Like when me and him talk about some of those things we maybe are going through or our competitions or things like that, we're just like at the end of the day though, like we all signed up for this. This is what we chose. We knew what it was we're getting into. Um, so we can't have a certain reaction to the outcome because we knew what I was coming in to do. And at the end of the day, too, it's like guys aren't paying my paycheck or, I mean, paying my bills, right? That's what people say a lot of times. Like, man, it sucks going against this. It's like, well, that guy's not paying your bills, right? You got to take care of you and yours and your family and, you know, the things that got you here, right? That's why you're here. And at the end of the day, too, it's almost like I had a coach who used to tell me, like, people really don't care about you as much as you might think they do. And I take it more of it's not that, it's just life's busy. Everyone's got a lot going on. And you come to find out too that like a lot of the stuff doesn't matter. And some of these people you might not even be close with down the road once you're not around them. So
Right.
it's kind of all those kinds of things. Just it's the way it goes.
Closeness helps with proximity. Someone's nearby. You see them every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I don't see my wife for 2 years, I'm pretty sure we're going to be feeling a little less close, right?
Yeah.
If I were to deploy on something, so
Yeah.
for sure, and that's the nature of the beast. Let's say it's you're nearing 40, and DBs don't play till 40, so it's safe to say you're probably not playing at age 40, right? Only a few quarterbacks that are lunatics, or maybe some kickers.
Yeah.
And when I on your survey I sent you, you said at some point down the road you might like to start a business. Any
Yeah.
thoughts on what that could be?
I have a couple ideas, maybe. I mean, I thought about real estate route, just more so, but that's more so kind of management side of business and passive income type of business. But I think I'd be intrigued with the idea of like walking through houses and doing demos or maybe rebuilds or um, flips and stuff like that occasionally. I know I went and done work with my brother and my uncle doing contracting and stuff with my brother. My uncle's a plumber, so he's had me come and demo and do those kinds of things. And I think for someone like me who's been in school and playing sports all the time, you don't get to really see and be around that kind of stuff, which I think it's kind of cool to be around. And I think just doing my own thing, not work for someone else. And there's all kinds of benefits to that, I'm sure. um, I thought about maybe even, like you said, you have a gym. I thought about that idea too, potentially. I know that's probably pretty competitive and tough, but I do enjoy, being able to help other people do things based on my experience and what I've learned. Um, I'll put my girlfriend through all kinds of stuff in the gym, and it's pretty cool sometimes, though I think. And I always think to have your own type of space like that would be pretty cool, and you build some really good communities. So I think I'd have a lot to offer in that sense.
You're come by Indy at all. You can train at my place for free whenever. And I know Jack has a rug for you that he made, so he needs to get that to you if he hasn't done that
Yeah,
yet.
I know. Me and him been talking about that rug for like 2 months now. I got to get it from him.
You know,
And you
he
said your gym's in Plainfield, right?
yeah, west side of Indy, yeah, right by the airport, one exit. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come check that out.
So you met your girlfriend at Ball State, and
Mhm.
it seems like things are must be progressing. If she's still around and you moved on to a different city, I gotta ask. And my boys hate this question. How tall is she?
5'4", I think. Yeah, it ain't a breeder, huh? No, but it's all right because my hopefully, hopefully I carry a lot more of my dad genes through. I was pretty blessed. My mom's not tall, so
I tell my boys, I'm like, hey, I'm sure you want someone who's Christian and nice and good family and head on their shoulders that can earn money on their own. But you can't teach height, bro. So find a volleyball player that's a middle blocker that's 6'1".
I mean,
And
Jack's like 6'2", six
yeah,
one. You can
yeah.
stretch it. You can stretch it.
So I'm a 6'3". I'm the smallest guy in my family. My brother's a 6'6". My dad was
Jeez.
tall. Yeah, I'm the smallest guy. And still taller than my boys barely. And they're like, oh man, if I could had another inch or two, whatever. I'm like, you buddy, you need 6 more inches for you to be anywhere near good. So I just tell them, you can't recruit height. Start there. Then they get
Huh?
mad. Then they get mad at me, and I'm like, all right, it's fine. Go find someone
You
that's
gotta
big.
breed them. If that's what you want, you gotta think about it.
Right, right.
Yeah, I always, that's what I don't remember who it was. You say you gotta check the ankles.
Yeah, right.
You got bony ankles. You got athletic ankles.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we're good there.
Thin little ankles, and people are going to be fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, you like that? Yes, sir. That's just the way it is. Uh, when do you leave for camp?
Friday morning. Yeah,
And,
we're going Saturday and we play in 2 weeks. Hall of Fame game on the 31st.
oh wow, okay. Over in Canton.
Yep,
Um,
it's kind of
is camp all in Detroit? Everything's all right there.
yeah. We do everything actually at our main facility, so we're at the same spot all year. It's nice.
Gotcha. Um, it'd be cool if you guys had a lion mascot come out in the field like they do at University of Colorado with that buffalo. But he could probably eat someone, so that's probably never going to happen in Detroit.
I think they
Um,
were talking about it.
no
They
kidding.
were. I saw some things they were talking about it. I think Dan wanted to, but I don't think they wanted let it happen. Obviously.
I've only been to Detroit once. Had an outstanding time. This is maybe 10, 15, 14 years ago. So I went to
Yeah.
Purdue, and every once in a while we would go to a home or an away game. We just love football, and so a couple of my three of my buddies we decided to head up to Detroit and then over to Ann Arbor to see Purdue play at the Big House. And Michigan's typically great, Purdue's typically not great unless Drew Brees was the quarterback. So we started in Detroit. There's a casino there. We're having a great time, right? Plenty of pops, playing craps, go to bed late, make our way over to Ann Arbor. We roll in there, and it's a big bowl stadium where a lot of the stadium is below ground. They build it into the ground, and then it's over 100,000. And then you walk in there like, hey, welcome to the Big House, welcome to the Big House, and we're basically at the top, our nosebleed seats,
Yeah.
and we're drinking Boilermakers beforehand, which is a shot of whiskey dropped into the beer. We're slamming those down because we figured that's probably going to help the team win. And lo and behold, they pulled this upset. They pulled us upset, and Purdue won at Michigan. And being from Ohio, I'm really happy about that too because I don't like Michigan just because I'm from Ohio. And then Purdue being my alma mater, we cruised home that night. It was absolutely so fun. This one guy whose house that we were all met up at, they had just built a pool, and half of it was full, and it was in the fall and it was kind of dirty. And one of the guys was hammered from the game, so he wasn't driving at all. But we get to the main guy's house, he just jumps right in the filthy pool. He goes, I want to be the first person in your pool. And that was the deal. And, he's in his Purdue shirt and his underwear, and he jumps in there and jumps out. I was like, man, is your wife coming to get you? He's like, oh yeah, you got no business driving home. And I'm like,
Uh huh.
I'm in my mid 30s and this is what's happening. I'm like, all right, I'm going home. But Detroit was a fun time, and would like to go back, especially if Ball State makes it that MAC championship. That'd be up there too. That'd be neat.
Yeah. And it's on the come up. They're doing a lot of big things in Detroit right now.
Yeah.
A lot of money and stuff is coming into Detroit, so they're really doing a good job bringing it back.
What's the restaurant in town you're like, oh man, if I really want to put one on, I'm having a good meal, whether it's barbecue, Italian, big steakhouse. What's like, hey man, I love this food at this one place. Oh, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it's a little hard. I don't really like to go out as much. I've been to a couple. I've been to the I think Joe's Seafood and Grill place. I had a good steak there. Prime and Proper has some good steaks. Sexy Steak. I've been there. Had some good steaks. Um, what's it called? 𝗬𝗏𝗶𝗹 is an Italian place. It's pretty good. There's another one I like. They got a good short rib Alfredo pasta. But I was going to Bubba's. Bubba's 33. They got them in Indy. I
Yeah,
go there. I like a burger from Bubba's. So me and my girl, we'd go there
there you
a couple
go.
times, and that was kind of our go-to. But I'm very I'm very simple. I prefer to eat something like that or just stay in.
Gotcha.
But yeah, uh, Bubba's got a good burger though. It's a chain, but hey,
Good burger's good burger.
it's a good burger.
Let's say you got a big max lift coming, or you got a lot of sprints. You work on your speed, so you have to dial up the intensity. What what song or songs are you playing?
Weight room songs. Remember, I think it used to go to. I just be like, put on some Lil Wayne. I tell people put on Lil Wayne. I think that's just the, I guess I'd say older part of me because I'm older now amongst a lot of these athletes.
Right,
Like I remember I said that at Ball State once. And they looked at me like I was born in the 1900s. I was like, bruh.
right.
But Lil Wayne. I'm getting more into rock. I really like rock. You know, a lot of weight rooms when they're banging rock and music, metal.
Okay,
That's my thing. I
all
like
right.
it.
What's an adventure outside of football that you like to do? Maybe you and your girl you haven't done yet.
That we haven't done that I would like to do
Yes, sir.
an adventure. Probably just travel out of the country. I think I know I never been out of the country, I guess yet. So I think we want to go. I
Well,
do want to go to. I want to go to Europe at some point.
okay.
Maybe go back to Hawaii. I've been there, but yeah, do those kinds of things. I'm get out, go do things.
Favorite sport movie,
Favorite sport movie? Probably Friday Night Lights or Remember the Titans.
right?
They're pretty close, neck and neck. I know they're old, they're
Yeah,
classics, but it's hard to beat.
it's still good. Have you seen Any Given Sunday? That's a
Not that I
football.
remember as a kid.
That's a football movie. It's a
Yeah.
big speech from Al Pacino at the end, which is pretty sweet. Um,
I think I've seen the speech. I've seen the clip of the speech. Yeah,
or The Program.
I have not seen the program.
Whoa, I've seen that every year since it came out, right before football starts.
That's
I saw it when it was in the theater because I'm 50 and it came out when I was in college. You know, people died from watching that movie
died
because
from.
yeah. So one of the scenes early on in the movie was, you know, the quarterback was always looking for this rush, this adrenaline rush to keep his edge, he would say. So he and his guys leave the bar, they run out on the road, and they're laying down in the road on the double yellow lines, wanting that adrenaline rush. Some other kids that saw that in the movie went and did that in real life. They got ran over and killed.
Wow.
So then the movie pulled that scene out. Yeah, yeah, it's bad. Um, Favorite sport to watch?
Favorite sport to watch? Man, I mean, I guess I gotta say football or I'm gonna say college wrestling. I'm gonna put that in there. I love college wrestling. People are watching March Madness. I'm watching the NCAA's. I like
I
wrestling.
love college wrestling. I love the one-on-one, the lights. You know, Oklahoma State, they got that pyrotechnics and the fires coming out. You know, you go to
Yeah.
Iowa State, um, Big Ten wrestling, Penn State, Ohio State, and those dual meets, and then you get to the finals where this NCAA finals where it's just one-on-one, lights are down. You talk about exposed, like everything on your life is right there, right?
Yeah.
And it's down to short little rounds, little break, go again, got to win. It's an awesome sport. Awesome sport. Who's your favorite athlete? Any sport?
Say Tyrann Mathieu. He was always one. Tyrann Mathieu was one of my favorites always.
Oh,
I'm a LeBron fan by the way too, which might upset you.
it's all right.
That's-
He won a title. He won a title in Cleveland. I can't hate that. You know,
Yeah.
we had a few rocky moments as a fan with him, but we'll take it. We'll take it. You have a book that you would recommend?
Book that I would recommend.
Could be fun. Could be serious.
I just started reading for real, honestly. Um, I guess I'd say a good book for you, but you might actually like Nick Lavery. Nick Lavery. He's a Green Beret. I just read it. I read his book last year going into camp because he came and spoke to us in OTAs. Um, I wish I could.
I got his name written down. I can find it.
Objective Secure. Now, I'll say this too. The first half, it's split into two parts. First part is really his story, his background. Second part is more of like a blueprint to follow to achieve a goal or whatever. But he was a Green Beret who lost his leg in combat. And he was the only Green Beret or whatever to ever return back to operational status with as an above the knee amputee. Awesome, incredible dude.
Wow.
He came to speak to us, and it was one of those, like, you just feel his energy, like it was intense. But I read his book, and I really enjoyed the first half of it before camp.
If you can get a hold of your public relations person in Detroit and find his contact info and then send it to me,
Yeah,
I would put him on the show to tell his story so his story and his method can reach other people and get other people better. So
yeah,
things like that, not like a football athlete, but anybody in the military is an athlete because they're doing something that's physical and there's a lot riding on it. And for him to persevere and his process to do that, that's absolutely what we're all about. So if we can get in front of Nick, that would be outstanding.
yeah. No, I thought when you said earlier you speak to a couple Rangers, so that I thought it'd be perfect.
That'd be perfect.
But yeah, so he's
Oh, okay.
yeah, he does a lot of speaking and stuff like that now, but he's very, very good dude.
This next one could be fiction or nonfiction. Could be a real person or not a real person. You have a hero that you like. Could be superhero, comic book, or it could be, hey, this person in my life is my hero, or both. I don't care.
Hero. I wish I had a like cool nonfiction one. But I'd probably just say probably my grandpa and my grandma, I guess. My grandfather was one of those like put everything on the line for his family. Like he didn't even I mean, when his last 20, 30 years of his life, and when I even knew him, it was all like he didn't care about nothing as long as he had Dr. Pepper and some cigarettes. Like everything else he got, his pension money and all that kind of stuff, he took care of his family and things like that. He didn't care about nothing else. And he was kind of the backbone to a lot of the things I was able to do growing up. And then my grandma, she took care of me for half of my life, and she's a very religious woman and all those things. And I mean, every conversation I had with her, I mean, I dreaded half of them probably, but it was all like wisdom talks and things like that. And I think a lot of my mindset and where I'm at has a lot to do with her instilling those things in me. So I'd say those two are people I really treat as heroes, I'd say.
Those people sound like that are in that role in their families that are constantly pouring into the next generation or two. They're like that pulling guard that takes out the one lineman and then the linebacker and then the DB while the running back's running behind him like that last play and Remember the Titans. They're just
Yeah.
trying to clear so much and give you such a better shot so you could advance mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally. And to have two people like that in your life and list them as heroes, that's hard. That is really hard to beat. How about a villain that you like?
A villain that I like?
Could be real, could be not real.
Oh, I'm trying to think. I swear I thought I had a. Mm. I mean, I could say, yeah, no, he's kind of messed up. I was gonna say Joker. He's not a villain I'd like. I,
He's the most common answer we ever have.
Well, because there's a lot, people are always quoting some of the stuff he says, and it's
There's
dark and twisted, but some of that's kind of truth, and it has a little bit of
reality
I
to it.
forgot the I forgot the word of it, but it's got a little like Marcus Aurelius to it. I forgot the
Stoicism,
philosophical whatever it is.
right?
Yeah, whatever you just what'd you
Sto
say? Yeah, Stoicism. Yeah,
Stoicism,
yeah,
yeah.
Stoic. Yeah,
Stoics, yeah.
I read that's a good one too. Meditations by Mark. I
Marcus
read that.
Aurelius,
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
solid. Uh, yeah. What's your favorite lift?
Lift. Hmm. I think power clean. People are gonna knock it, but I enjoy power clean. I think it was beat into me at UIndy, and then Ball State. We didn't do it as much, but I enjoy power clean. I feel it all around my body, and it gets you breathing fast, hard.
What's a good number for you there?
Now, no idea. I might do it, and I'll get a top set only, maybe 275, just to get some work in. If
Sure.
I'm really strong at the moment, I'll maybe push it to 3 plates. But when I was at Ball State, I maxed out. I hit 340, which was nuts.
Yeah.
It's my
When
last summer there.
Zane was coaching with us. The guy I was telling you about. He's a assistant strength coach at with the Colts. He was coaching at my gym, and he's good friends with Dustin Burford, who was heading up sports performance at my gym, and Dustin played at UIndy as well.
Yeah.
And so Zane comes in, and Jack really liked both those coaches. He was much younger. Jack started at my gym at age 10. Those guys came in when he was like age 11, and so he was around these guys that played college football. And Zane came in cold, and Jack's like, "Hey, how much can you clean?" He goes, "Well, I'll work my way up real quick and show you." And over a course of like 10 minutes. And Zane hadn't been lifting. He was out of the trying to make it walk on as a free agent in the league. So he goes 135, right to two and a quarter, 275, 315, and then 335, all in 5 reps. And Jack's like, "Shit." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's some strength.
that's a grown ass man right there."
Yeah.
Yeah, grown ass man. Yeah, yeah. You
Jeez.
have a quote for us?
Well,
Yeah.
I had one that I liked a lot. It was on my phone. I posted it on my Instagram actually. It's a biblical one though. But
I like
I
the
don't even,
Bible.
yeah, I don't even think let me look up Loren Strickland Instagram. I have my computer right here just in case, even though I didn't need it for anything. Let me pull this up, sorry.
Take your time, man.
Be quick. It was one of the things I posted when I made the team, but I kind of got in that mode too where I was starting to read I was reading the Bible a lot more and getting into that kind of stuff. And um, sorry, I just did this on my phone because I gotta log in on my computer. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It is. Yeah, it was according to your faith, be it unto you. Matthew 9:29. Or second one I put in there as well. What things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Mark 11:24.
Okay.
But those stuck with me a lot. Um, and I read those throughout camp, and it was just something that really stuck with me because it was very relatable to me at the moment, and a lot of what carried me was my faith in just believing in myself and Almighty to get me there.
Well, you only saw that one set of footprints. That's when it carried you, right? So when you're struggling along, it's usually your faith that can make all the difference. And they say there's no atheists living in foxholes. So when you're at war and you're in a foxhole living or dying, there usually are atheists there. They're praying to God right there to save their lives so they don't get hit with a bomb. So that's huge. I know people can find you on the field, number 24. Any other places they can find you online?
Um, no, I'm not real. I'm not real active in the community like that. I need to be. I need
Oh,
to be. I need to start getting on YouTube and TikTok and those kinds of things, but I've not yet to do so and take advantage of my platform.
okay. Well, then we will look for you, number 24, Hearts and Souls, for the Detroit Lions. Thanks again to Ball State's linebackers for making the intro to get Strick on the show today. Really enjoyed our time, learned a lot, had some good stories. Just sitting back like we're just relaxing, having a beer, and just shooting the shit. But I think you had great insights for those that are coming up and on perseverance and your habits. So I and all our listeners are better for it. So Strick, thanks for being on the show today, man. For those that want to get a hold of us, info@athlete-builder.com, and that's how you can reach us. So Strick, thanks for the time. Really, really enjoyed it. Thank you
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
for sure.